I think we're live. Welcome to New Eden Now. I'm your host, Nick Sintowski. Whatir, Trogdor Montague in-game. I have all kinds of names that I don't like to discuss too much unless we have to. But a couple of very important things to start off the show with today. Of course, if you're here, it's probably because you're interested in the Jackpot Lotto, which we'll get to in about a half hour or so. Tonight's jackpot, and I just hit it. Tonight's jackpot will be 1.53 billion-esque. Kind of exciting news. Our board of directors and our shareholders voted that instead of making you buy 3,000 tickets to get up to that minimum jackpot, for the first time, we're just going to put that money in the account. So if you check the forums, I do have a in-game event post about today's drawing, and I did put a link at the bottom to the Jackknife API reader, and you can actually see our wallet accounts. If you go to Wallet Division 3, that is the actual money we are holding to fund the jackpot, specifically for the jackpot. The other divisions you don't have to look at too much, but if you want to see Wallet Division number 7, that is where we keep the backup funds in case we're not making money. So what I had done when we started the Jackpot Holdings Corporation, I sold a bunch of shares of stock, and I just basically collected that money so that if the lottery is not profitable, we can still afford to pay out about 7 or 8 jackpots before we have to close up shop. So I made that API available for you. You can read that at corporate.jackpot.com/bylaws. If I had the technology, I'd put it here, but I did not prepare. I have to do that in advance. I can't just, doesn't work that way. But this week we are at the beautiful Camera Corner Studios. Thank you so much for giving me a place to broadcast from, all of the wonderful equipment to use, and of course a job, Camera Corner. But if you need video production, we have multi-camera studios, we have live streaming support, we do podcasts. Get in touch with Camera Corner Studios at 920-272-0148, located in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And as I said before, I want to get guests on the show this week. I have my very first. I'd like to introduce you all to my good friend Tim, who actually got me into Eve. Tim, thanks for doing the show for me.
No problem. Hello, interwebs.
How you been?
Good, man. You?
I'm staying busy, working a lot, trying to get this Eve thing going. You got me in, I want to say 6 years ago I started playing.
I think so.
And it's been crazy. Like I disappeared for a while, then I came back, and I had this idea for a lottery thing, and I never did anything because even today I'm still Eve broke. Mm-hmm. But it's exciting to try and do that. What have you been up to?
Well, like you, if I hadn't taken so many breaks in my life, I'd be a millionaire and would have invented Twitter in the 80s. But we all can't be that cool. So. Yeah,
right. and that's the thing is you never know what avenue to take, mm-hmm. and where it's really going to lead you to. It's funny. I have a friend named Elliot who does a podcast here, and he used to run a web developing company in town. Mm-hmm. And just one day he was on Facebook, and a friend of his was like, hey, you should do a podcast. You're interesting. You know a lot of interesting people. And he's just like, yeah, that's funny, right? But I saw the thread, and I'm like, hey, I got the studio. I need things to do. So I sent him a message. I'm like, hey, if you want to do a podcast, do you know how? So we had a conversation. That was like the second time I had ever met the guy. Mm-hmm. We got together. We had a quick conversation. He came in and started doing a show, and now he has 4 different podcasts. One of them I produce, one of them he home produces, and 2 of them are another studio in town over at ReleaseWire, doing a couple shows with him. So it's kind of interesting how you said that, though. You never know if you focus on something and go after it, what it could turn into. Yeah. So we'll see. Maybe this will be good. Maybe it'll be a waste of time. I don't know. We'll find out.
So people who see this post on the forums later, make sure you come back and subscribe and watch me make a fool out of myself.
Yeah, totally. And if you want to come back, because you live around here, I mean, you can come back anytime. My thought was like, I have a couple of investors that like do proxy sale and escrow accounts for people, and some of them are fairly well known. I have to talk to them all to see whether they want me to release their names. But I would love to ask for some of them to come on, and like I can do a Skype or this is Google stuff, so Google Hangouts can be live broadcast into this as well. So I'd love to see a rotating group of guests, but you're welcome.
Awesome.
Anytime you're willing to do the show, I'd love to have you.
Awesome.
So, quick question for you.
Yeah.
We just went through a pretty major update in the client. I know there's some new mission things. There's some new graphical interface. I'll say, my streaming laptop right here is my gaming laptop. And I could see a huge change graphically, especially like in the stations or undocking. What do you think about the new updates?
I don't know. I've been a terrible EVE player for years. Like all EVE players I mostly know, I play extremely zoomed out. I think the only time I zoom in is when I die, and that's just to see my cool pod. Other than that, I've always played sound off, zoomed out, so I'm terrible in that respect, and that's just probably a nod at my multi-boxing past, although I think we can get banned for that now.
Really?
I don't know, can we?
I don't know. I assumed not, because the new launcher client lets you log into multiple accounts, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think they just changed the rules. The last time I looked into it, I don't do it very much anymore. The last time I looked into it, they were just banning the IS boxers. It's still, from what I understand, still allowed to multi-box as long as you use your regular human arms and legs to control various mice and keyboards, and not IS Boxer with chunks of Windows all over your screen strategically.
Yeah, I thought that was the whole intent of the rule, was to keep people from shortcutting their way and, here, 8 different characters, attack at once with a single mouse click. I think that was the intent.
Yeah.
So, talk about that a little bit, because you got me into a point, and I don't even know if you remember, because to me it was an important time in EVE. To you, it was probably just another PvP era. I spent this much time in nullsec, and we were in ZH. I don't know if anyone can even find that based on that little bit of information. That's all I remember. We were in Z-H, and I found it pretty impossible to navigate without either an alt character or someone I could talk to check the next room for me. Taking that warp was the most paralyzing thing. Just stay at home. How do you do that now if you can't multi or not multi-boxing?
Well, I mean, every good EVE player would probably tell us all to shut up and get a scout or an intel channel or both, or buy 5 more accounts, but that's technically the way to do it, is get a scout. The better way to do it is grow a set of balls and just jump.
I suppose, but so I got pissed the other day because they have the new, I'm terrible, I don't even know the name, but those new missions, they're kind of hidden behind a little TV menu, and one of them was to kill 5 angel guards or something. And there was a spawn of 6 guards just sitting at a gate. And it happened to be in 0.3 space. I was zipping through, and I killed the first 4, and then I needed number 5. So he warped out, and I chased him, and I found him, and that was great. I was proud of myself for being able to probe him down, right? But when I got to him, what I didn't realize was that these NPCs could warp disrupt. So that 250 million ship you just helped me build, I lost on a Saturday morning because I didn't know that the NPCs could keep me from warping out. So that was a little disturbing to me. I don't know if that's a rule change or if I'm just that kind of idiot because I don't spend enough time in lowsec.
I'm not familiar with that particular thing, but NPCs have warp scrambled for a long time. I think the new guys are, and somebody can correct us in the comments, I think the new guys are based off of the burner piece, the new burner NPCs, which are supposed to be harder than normal. And I haven't fought the Angel Guards yet because I've been a lazy Eve player.
Well, I haven't had a problem with any of the Angel Guards except for the one that has a 2.5 million bounty.
Okay.
I can kill all the other ones,
Just not
but
that
that
one.
battleship, I don't have the DPS. So right now, I probably shouldn't share this much because I give away my name. I'm in high sec, so if you want to gank me while I'm running through whatever, that's life. But I've been running augmented hobgoblins. That's my primary damage. But it was disturbing because when you helped me get set up and build my character, I know you had me invest in all the right things in the right order so that I would be able to train at the right, the fastest way possible and get me up and running. And I'm very appreciative for that. But then now this round where I'm kind of trying to play on my own 2 feet and not necessarily take everything from somebody else, I put my money, I guess there is ISK involved because I had to buy the books, but I have almost all of the refining up to 5. I spend a little time on mining. I spend a little time on industry. And the more I do that, the more I realize that it's just not worth the investment. I can make so much more just running like a drone hideaway room. Recently, I just got the ability to do ruin sites or data sites. They didn't seem to pay off too much, considering the amount of time it took me to probe them down.
Yeah.
But it was a quick, easy, you'd be proud. I actually, because they have the objectives panel now, I have been in a wormhole.
Ooh.
And then I turned around and left because I didn't want to get lost. But I took the jump and got my 10,000 ISK or whatever it is for completing the objective.
So for all you listening at home, guys, if you want Nick to do anything, just give him 10,000 ISK.
10,000 ISK,
Just
man.
please wait till after the live broadcast. I do not want to see him with his shirt off.
No, well,
You
you
might want
almost
to.
did because
Yeah.
like 2 minutes before we went live, I spilled my beautiful drink all over. I didn't even show this yet.
I mean, that's why we don't have nice things, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. I talk about how nice the studio is. It looks decent when I want it to, but when I show that camera, it's kind of messy. Lots of stuff on a table.
Well, it kind of looks like my room.
Yeah.
Hey,
Right?
I'm married now. Never mind. My room looks very pretty.
Yeah, you're not allowed to look like that once you get married.
Yeah.
I know the struggle.
So we talked about wormholes.
Yes,
you know,
wormholes.
For me, that's an interesting area. And I really have to actually, and oddly enough, from a player base, I have to compliment CCP on finally releasing Citadels. And I know I said finally, and a lot of players probably say, "Oh my God, they did it way too soon," because of all the problems that players had with them. And one thing I say is that didn't come soon enough. I wish that was around, and actually tell you what, if somebody in the comments below can guess the ZH system and can find the system nearby I'm talking about, I'll give you, I don't know, 100 mil, make it. Fuck that. You know?
Sure, or I can give them a couple of tickets to the lottery for
Or a
drawing
couple of
today.
tickets,
Because
yeah.
what I did, I actually bought like 5 extra tickets so that I could give them away. If nobody wins them in the comments section, what I'll do is I'll play them, and if I win, I just put the money towards the jackpot pool. I'm not collecting it for myself because I get a percentage of the profits, our 9%.
So like any typical money man, did anyone understand the fine print? Because I didn't.
No. It's easy. I have 5 tickets to give away. Tim, give them away to earn their 5 tickets.
All right, so if anyone's watching this live or after the show, I don't know if that's allowed, they can win some tickets. But go ahead and find some real life people that know me in EVE and tell me the system in ZH where I suckered Nick down to in his early days. God, that had to have been in like 2010.
You still
So-
know? You know where that was?
Oh, God, I know. Like the back of my hand, man. I field a shitload of passes.
Are you still there?
I have alts there.
Wow.
I got shit locked in stations.
I have a clone there,
Ooh.
but I don't want to jump to it because I don't think I have any stuff. I'm pretty sure I contracted all of my possessions to you and just do what you want with them because I wasn't going back. I was flying. I probably had like 3 Punishers. That's probably all I had.
I probably bought Exotic Dancers, let's be honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyways, if anybody can figure out that system, I'm sure there's people that I could point this stream to that would know right away. Feel free to use your friend Eve Maps. But anyways, back to the discussion point, wormholes, and that one system I grew up in would have been fantastic to have Citadels.
Yeah.
I mean, living out of a POS sucks. They made some great improvements with the Corporation Hangar Array a couple years back. And then they kind of died, right? Because everybody was afraid of the infamous POS code of EVE Online.
Mm-hmm.
It must be so scary. I thought Python was easy, but I guess not.
That's good. Yeah, I've been playing in Python and not getting anywhere. I'm not a programmer anymore.
I have a Raspberry Pi. We all probably do.
I have a Raspberry Pi too, and I have no idea what to do with it. I was going to make it, so I went to one of the drugstores and got like a coin counter thing. Like you just put the coins in and it sorts them. And the thing was just terribly inaccurate. So I bought a bunch of switches at a Radio Shack going out of business sale. And I'm like, I'm going to put these in there and I'm going to GPIO and I'm going to Python something to make my coin counter actually do something. No.
And ladies and gentlemen, instead he decided to do a webcast.
I do TV for a living. Kind of TV. This is my thing.
Hey.
I can do this. I know how to push this button that makes it go to that camera, and I know how to push this button that makes it go to that camera. I don't know how to write code.
Well, that's good because none of the kids nowadays watch TV anyways, so this is about the closest thing they're going to get.
Right. And that's the thing. It's the future of the web. Like, it's crazy because I've only done 2 other broadcasts, and the first one, I put it as a gaming show, and then it says, please type the name of the game you're playing, and I didn't. The second time...
I'm telling.
Yeah, well, the second time, I put in EVE Online, and now there's like 30 viewers or whatever, because people can search based... It's all about metadata. I should have known.
Yeah.
I'm not an idiot, but I pretend to be one on TV or the internet.
Google owns us. Let's just be clear about that.
Yeah, pretty much. So, with Citadels, the big thing, and I'm a novice, I'm nowhere near having the kind of money or connections to build a Citadel. I'm not in an alliance or anything. I'm trying to be as neutral as I can. But from what I've been led to believe, long-term, there'll be a replacement for stations.
That's kind of what I've heard. I mean, obviously they're making pauses extremely obsolete, except in other cases. They're making them obsolete from a living perspective right now. So I can tell you I can't be happier. I think it's one of the longest overdue things. It's been a question people have been asking for a long time, and it makes a lot of dark areas of space a lot more hospitable for capsuleers. And it's, there's regions that were just dead that now, can have some pretty solid living reasons. Deep in OO, where you couldn't bring a station in, or maybe you were restricted, right? Well, now they're destructible. So, do they care if you build one? No, So I think it opens up a great dynamic in gameplay. I think it's fantastic for smaller corporations, for smaller alliances. Again, I wish I had one in 2010, but we can't go back in time. And I think right now, honestly, is one of the most exciting times to be a small corp CEO or small alliance CEO. If you had the time to invest in something like that, I think being in a wormhole would be a lot of fun. Even being out somewhere in dead OO would be fun again. So, a rare kudos to CCP.
And I never even thought about the possibility of putting the Citadel in wormhole space, which would be astounding.
Yeah. And somebody can correct me. I mean, I obviously haven't hopped on the test server and tried it, but I imagine that's possible along with MPCOO. So again, somebody in the comments make me an idiot, please.
No, I do totally think that that's possible because my one jump into wormhole space, and I just did a general scanning probe, and I was finding a bunch of spots.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were, but they definitely looked either pause or something otherwise. It was a structure that I could have jumped to. So. But I was scared. I don't like losing ships. So what I did after I lost that, I think with the Fit, it's like a 280 million ship or so that I've been flying. And when I lost it, I kind of freaked out for a second. And then I went to my wife, and she's like, "You lost a ship, didn't you?" I know that look. I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "You can just get a new one. It's just a game." I'm like, "I know, but it's going to take me," because I'm earning about like a little less than 2 million an hour when I'm ratting. And I'm like, it's going to take me 100 hours to get my ship back. And that's if I have that ship to earn my money back. So she let me Plex.
Long story short, she gave me the credit card.
Yeah, long story short, I bought my first Plex, and then I sold it at like record lows right now. Plex is like 800K, or it's 800 million right now.
800K, rush to Jita, everyone.
That would be amazing. Get to Jita.
You know, and it's funny you say that, because it's just funny how inflation works and how over time stuff goes up. I mean, I remember a time when, well, I remember when you couldn't buy Plex, but I also remember when Plex was, 300 million. Again, in our mysterious OO system, you could rat a Plex in just a matter of a few hours. So how times have changed.
Right. Well, and geez, I wish I could remember his name, but there's the CCP folk who, I think he's on the graphics team, but he really got interested in economy. So he's been releasing the economic report every month of what's been ordered, what's been built, what systems are gaining, what systems are losing. I find that absolutely fascinating. I mean, for me, EVE is all about that living world economy. Like, that's what really attracts me to it. And looking at the whole turn and churn of supply and demand, and where Plex comes into play with that, I was thinking immediately when I saw that Plex was down, I immediately thought Brexit. Because the pound declined so much in the last, 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
It's down to $1.10 to $1 last time I checked.
Yeah, it's unbelievable how much that changed. And I was reading an article where, actually no, I think this was a presentation at FanFest where someone went deep into the economics, and he said that I think it was in Russia, many more players as a percentage Plex rather than purchasing their account, because you either have to convert to euro or US dollar before you buy. And that conversion was so expensive for them that Plex was the most affordable way. So really, like, if you put Plex on the world's market as a currency exchange, like, it is most closely tied to Russia. And I kind of figured, that might also happen to Britain. If their money's going to tank, more British players are probably going to start plexing, or vice versa. Maybe they were producers and now they're trying to sell.
Yeah, it's a crazy world we live in. Just tying that all back to the real world, I'll throw you for a loop. Look at EVE from a more introverted perspective. The game's economy is structured by rules. What's the meta? What change did CCP make last Tuesday that no one caught? And now all of a sudden, I don't know, Munins are worth $1 trillion ISK. Yes.
Right.
Let's all go buy Munins right after this video, and I will laugh at you. I mean, praise you with glory.
You have a bunch sitting out there waiting to be purchased?
No Munins. No. If only the Typhoon would become even more powerful. That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
The trash can is honorable and forever.
Well, and one of the other things that came out of the analysis I was looking at was the freebies. Like, they gave a bunch of fireworks and launchers and stuff like that. And I was just like, junk, sell it. And he said that, like, that's the ultimate thing to stockpile, that will play the market 6 months down the road. You buy a crap ton of them and just, sell them when they're free, or buy them when they're free and sell them when they're not, and that apparently he makes a ton off of it.
So how do I kill this live broadcast?
Yeah, that's the Ethernet cable right around here.
Yuck.
You know, honestly though, we're out of time almost.
Yeah.
I think I got to do the lottery.
Oh.
Like
yeah.
honestly, we're almost to our half hour, and I don't want to go too long, or the
Okay.
two people that tuned in to see their numbers get drawn.
Well, why don't we skip real quick, and maybe next week we could, if people would be interested, post in the comments, and we could do like some sampling of some of the PvE stuff I've taught Nick over the last little bit. So if that sounds interesting, maybe reviewing some PvE statistics on how to make slightly more than 2 million ISK an hour.
That would be nice.
Yeah,
I would love to
like
learn that.
Maybe 20 million ISK an hour. Maybe we could do a live stream from Nick's supposedly awesome gaming laptop.
Sure, we can. We can.
All right, as long as he turns his keyloggers off, right? Yeah. Is that a Russian laptop?
That is a work laptop.
So it is not a Russian laptop, or it is?
Are
we not sure?
That is hard to distinguish because the domain is cccp.com. Very, very interesting that we mentioned
So
that.
is that a Bernie Sanders laptop? Too soon? I don't know.
Well, he might be coming back. We'll see with this whole
Hey, I'm feeling the
this
Bernie.
whole let's not. I don't know. Hillary's not going to get charged. Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm actually going to be. I don't know if they may have actually released today. I did Elliot's podcast, Political Radar, and that should be coming out before the end of this week. I revealed there that I'm a Bernie fan,
Ooh.
and I was being extreme, but I proposed a couple of ways that he could still be the candidate. I'll let you guys download Political Radar to hear that, but I got a little bit of flack for some things I said about Hillary Clinton. So, anyways,
Drawing.
let's do the drawing here. I got to remember what button I'm clicking. There. So,
He does know how to use a computer,
I
promise.
post this for you guys every time I do a drawing. You can go to corporate.jackpot.com and you can see this is the actual spreadsheet that runs the whole lottery, and these are all the ticket numbers that have been sold. Like I said, if you want to see it, it's out there in permanence on corporate.jackpot.com. I'm using Drupal now.
Wow. And if you see any questionable bookmarks in his favorites bar, make sure to comment about those.
Oh, can you see my? You can see my bookmarks
Yeah.
bar.
I'm pretty
Huh.
sure there's a porn site in there.
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Yeah.
I have a keyboard heat map.
Hey, there you go.
I'm not going to delete the ones that I don't use anymore because then you might see what you think you're going to see. Okay, so there's the numbers. I let you look at them, and like I said, if you want to go to corporate.jackpot.com and take a look, be my guest. Here is the very formal and legitimate way that I draw the numbers. Once I finish making a full website where you can buy and sell tickets and there's not so much manual work, I will be using the random.org API to do signed drawings. I've already done it in testing. It's just more work than it's worth right now since I don't have a web page devoted to doing it. So here we go. The first four numbers, sorry, I'm hitting my microphone here. The first four numbers come from a pool of 1 through 50 that cannot repeat. So we will draw four numbers 1 through 50. If they repeat, I will redraw. We have a 31. 31.
Also taking bets on whether or not Nick magically formats his computer. Current odds are 1 to 3 million.
Next one. We've got 28. 28. Next number. 34. Is that a repeat already?
No.
Nope. 34.
Hey, we both went to public school, so leave us alone.
We've already got someone that won something. One more number from the black ball pool, and it's 10. All right. And then our final number we draw is our bonus ball, or gold ball as we call it. For those of you in the States, I won't use the brand name of the Power or the Mega. But we have a separate pool of 1 through 30, so this number can repeat from previous numbers. I changed my zone for 1 through 30. Hey, I don't know if you looked at the spreadsheet, but if we get a 3, there's like 4 people that picked 3 for this ball. So I'm going to start losing money. Here we go. Let's see what it is.
Take all
1
of
through
Nick's
30.
money.
24.
Notice how it's not a 3.
Hey, this is totally fair. You have to speak for me here because no one's going to believe me thinking that I ran this fair. There we go. So we have 2 million ISK winner this week. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm Nick. Tim, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for
I
having
love
me.
it. And if you're willing to come back next week, I'll definitely do that because I hope to run this lottery every single week. And like Tim said, use the comment section. You can tweet at Jackpot Lotto. I haven't logged in or done anything with it yet, but I did reserve the name. Or you can message me in-game. Trogdor Montague or Jackpot Holdings Inc. is the corporation. I also have the alt Jackpot to handle our stock transactions. So if you want to buy stock in the company, that's also an option for you. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next week.